Hi everyone, we have International Master Kaustuv Kundu, the winner of 6th Bangalore Rating Open and also 5th DD-DBCA Rating Open. Congratulations Kaustuv.
Thank you.
Kaustuv, you have won 2 tournaments consecutively, and the second tournament which you have won, you had to miss the first round because you were busy winning the previous one. So what was your mindset coming into this? Because you won the previous one and you were missing, which meant that you had to win every single round, like even a draw was not even an option.
To be honest, I did not expect to win this tournament. I was not expecting to win it right from the start. It was happening in my hometown, so I thought let me play it. And then now FIDE has changed the rules, so we gain rating points by defeating lower rated opponents that are like lower rated less than more than 400. So that's why I decided to play this tournament. Okay, if I can't win the tournament, then let me gain some rating points.
You were also the defending champion because last year in the previous edition, the 4th edition of this tournament, DD-DBCA Rating Open, you won it. So did you have it at the back of the mind that yes, I should defend the title?
Honestly, it was not in my hands because I was missing one round, and then even if I caught up to the leaders, the other players, then also my book holds was quite low. So it was a bit of a luck, I guess.
Okay, let's start with 6th Bangalore Open, which you won this year, and previously you had already won it in 2022, the 4th edition.
Yes.
So how was your experience this time?
It was a nice experience. It's always great to play in Bangalore. Shushudha Reddy is an excellent organizer and he manages things very well. This time the competition was tougher than last time. I was the top seed, but I managed to play well. I remained undefeated. I scored 9 out of 10 and I won the tournament.
How were your games over there?
All the players put up a very tough fight, especially the youngsters, but I managed.
What about here?
Here also I faced pretty tough competition after round 5. Shankhadeep Dey and Shahid, and even the last round, Shuntu Mandal, they all put very tough fight. And the last round was a draw. He blundered at the end, that's why I managed to win the tournament.
Yes, we were all taking a look at your game, that rook and 4 pawns endgame, but you were the ones who had a chance to push, and you did, and you eventually managed to win.
Yes, so my opponent was very low on time. That's what I capitalized on.
Otherwise, you would have accepted a draw.
Sorry.
If you were not low on time, you would have accepted a draw.
No, I would have played because even if I drew the game, my book was so low that I would have finished 3rd or 4th. So I had no other option than to play for the win. And I had some chances. If he defended accurately, then it would have ended in a draw. But the onus was on me. He had to defend.
So at what point in the rook and 4 pawns endgame you felt like yes, I can win this? Like of course he was
wasting a lot of time with his rook. He needed to push his kingside pawns. He needed to create a pass pawn on the kingside. When I managed to capture the f4 pawn, then I thought that okay, I am winning. But surprisingly, the engine still shows that the game is a draw. And at some point, I reached this rook g3 idea, after which we are promoting queens at the same time, but he is promoting the check. So after that, it was an easy draw, but then he blundered with queen g5.
So when he played queen g5, you were like, okay, now the championship is...
That was the only trick I was counting on in that position, and somehow he fell for it.
Otherwise, it's a theoretical draw, right?
Yeah, it's a draw.
Which one is your favorite game from this event?
My game against Shahid from the 8th round.
Let's take a look at it.
Okay, sure. So I was playing Shahid Dey with the black pieces in the 8th round. He was leading the tournament with 100% score. He was 7 out of 7 and I was 6 out of 7. So if I had any chances of winning the tournament, then I had to beat him. So I had the black pieces, and when you are playing against an international master, a youngster who is very well prepared in the opening, it's always a difficult task because they can easily kill the game and like steer the game into some dull positions or a draw middle game. So the game started e4, I played c5, he played knight c3. So I was expecting the close Sicilian. Here I played knight c6, he played knight e2. Now this is a tricky move. White can play g3 and play the close Sicilian, but white can also play d4 and transpose into the open Sicilian. So here I was a bit confused what to play. if I played g6, then he could play d4 and then he could transpose into the Sicilian dragon. Okay, I play the Sicilian dragon regularly, but then it also means that he would be prepared in that opening because he would expect me to play that opening. I played d6, he played d4, I took, he took back, I played knight f6. So this is the classical Sicilian, a very sharp opening. He played bishop g5, I played e6, he played queen d2, a6, long castle. This is all very trivial stuff, theory and all. Here I played bishop e7. Now there was one game in his database where he played bishop takes f6 against a lower rated opponent. So I was expecting him to play bishop f6, but in the game he played f3. Here I had a nice trick in mind. Instead of developing the usual bishop d7, I played knight into d4, and after queen d4 I played castle. And here my idea is to play b5 and bishop d7 instead of committing the bishop to d7. I played h4, I played b5, he went king b1, bishop d7, queen d2, queen c7. Here he played g4, I played rook c8, I played bishop d3, I played b4. I think bishop d3 is slightly inaccurate in this position. He should have played something like bishop e3 over here. And after bishop d3, b4, knight e2, the point is now I am getting d5. And once black gets d5, the position is very comfortable for black. And since white has already played g4, this f3 g4 pawn becomes weak after e d5, something like knight d5. Here he played e5. Now I had a nice trick in mind. I played knight e4. Now white cannot capture the knight because after d takes e4, once this bishop is trapped, so I am getting back the piece, but once I get this bishop, then my light square bishop is very strong. I can play something like bishop d5, put pressure on a2. So here he played queen e1. Now here I played knight c5, which is not the best move in this position. I had to play bishop f8. I was calculating bishop f8 during the game, but after knight d4, knight c5, like I misevaluated the position. This is better for black. I need to keep the bishop because the bishop acts as a defensive piece, and now black's attack is pretty strong compared to white's. So after bishop knight c5, he played bishop takes e7. I took on d3. He took back, queen into e7. Now this is some sort of French structure, but my attack is faster than white's. That's why this position is balanced. Here he played knight d4. I played a5. He played queen e3. I played a4. My idea was to play a3, provoke him to play b3, and then create weaknesses on the dark squares and then exploit it by playing rook c3, bishop a6. So here he played h5. He was also trying to create some weaknesses on my king side. I played a3, he played b3. Now this is a very complicated position because I don't have any pawn breaks right now. I have created weaknesses in white's queen side, but I need to exploit that. So I was a bit skeptical about rook c3 because after h6, g6, I was not liking the fact that my king had no escape squares. So here I played h6 first. He played f4. I played rook c3. f4 is a slightly risky move. I thought that white should have played rook c1 in this position, profile axis against rook c3, like stop black's threats and then go for this f4 g5 idea. But he played f4 and I played rook c5. And here I think both of us missed something. The natural move for white is g5, trying to break open, but I had intended to play queen c5. Now the point is, if white takes on g8-6 or plays g6, I have this very nice tactical shot, rook takes b3. So white cannot take with a knight because the queen is hanging, and if white takes with a pawn, then a2, king b2, king a1, queen c3 is checkmate. So I thought this was strong enough to create some winning chances, but here the engine as usual shows a very crazy defense with something like queen g1.
Did you see queen g1 during the game?
I had seen queen g1 in the game, but I thought, okay, after rook c8 I have some chances. But okay, rook c8 is not working here somehow because g into h6. Okay, no, rook c8. Yeah, if g into h6, I still have rook d3. No, I don't think I have rook b3 because after knight b3 is not working because of
Queen c2,
but
queen
after
b2,
ab3, a2, king a2, rook a8 check, king b1. I'm falling one move short. I want to play queen c3, but mate is threatened. So I'm falling one move short. So that's why I think I need to play king h8 or king h7 in this position. Probably king h8. And after g8-6, g8-6. I don't know. This position seems very complicated. Like even if I play rook c8, white can always play rook h2 to defend the like b2, c2. And now it's very complicated. Like anything can happen from this position. So he had to play this queen g1 and all this complicated stuff. But after rook c3, I think he missed this queen g1 idea, or he was very scared of my threats of rook into b3. Both of us missed something. And here he played knight e2. Like this is already a blunder because white is allowing d4. And once my bishop opens up, this position is like lost for white practically. So here he played queen takes d4. I played bishop h1. He played knight takes c3. Here bishop f3, rook f1, small internet, so rook d8, queen e3, bishop g4. The knight is attacked, so knight e4, bishop h5. And I managed to win a pawn. But white's knight is pretty strong on d6 now. So I played bishop g6, keeping an eye on the d3 weakness. White played rook h1, stopping queen h4. And here the knight is very annoying because I need access to the c file. I want to play rook c8, queen c7 and play queen c3, but I am not being able to because the knight is controlling all the essential squares. I also want to play queen b7, but I can't because of the knight. So I have to bring my queen over to some square like a8. So I had thought one idea of playing rook b8 and then queen d8, queen b6 or queen d8, queen a5. But in the game I played queen c7. Here white played rook c1. I played queen a5. White played queen d4. Now I cannot play queen a8 because the b4 pawn is hanging. So I played rook b8, defending the b4 pawn. And here I think white could have like put on some resistance by playing king a1. Because once you play king a1, now bishop d3 does not come with a check, and white can think about playing something like rook c4 or knight c4. Although it is very difficult for white. But white played knight c8, and after knight c8 I think this is just completely winning for black. After king h7, now the knight on c8 is just misplaced. If you play knight d6 back, then I have already gained a tempo by playing king h7 and I can just play queen a8 with queen d2 ideas. And here he played queen d7, but this loses instantly because of queen b5. And now the queen gets traded, but my rook gets activated as well. I can bring my rook over to d5. The d3 pawn is lost. Here he tried something like knight e7. No, here he played rook c7. I played rook d5. Here he played knight d6. Probably he wanted to try some knight d7, knight f8 and some perpetual tricks. I played rook takes d3, king c1. Now just simply h5, knight d7, h4, knight f8 check, king h6, rook c8, and I simply played rook c3. And here he resigned because once the rook gets traded, this pawn cannot be stopped. The king and the knight are too far away. So this was a very crucial win for me because I managed to caught up to Shahid. Like after this game, I was on 7 out of 8 and he was also on 7 out of 8. So I had some realistic chances of winning the tournament, but a lot of factors had to go my way in the final round, which eventually did. So I'm very happy.
Well, you won 2 tournaments consecutively and both of them for the second time. So out of each triumphs, which one is your favorite? Like for Bangalore, which one did you like more? 2022 triumph or 2024 this year?
I guess this year, because this one is fresh in my memory. So
recency bias, you can say.
Yeah.
And what about DBCA tournament, 4th edition or the 5th one?
Absolutely, this one.
Because you were starting from the...
Like I had no expectations of winning the tournament and somehow everything fell into place. So this feels like a magical moment.
Kaustuv, we know that you fulfilled all IM title requirements back in September, but officially the title is not approved yet. Hopefully it will be approved in the month of May.
Yeah.
So, are you facing any kind of challenges because the title is not approved, or like organizers are lenient?
I'm facing some challenges because I still don't get
Conditions, free entry.
Yeah, conditions free entry. So I'm hoping that I will get the title in the next month or next 2 months. So that will be really helpful.
Kaustuv, are you working on your own, or are you working with someone?
I'm working on my own.
Okay. And apart from playing chess, what do you do? Like, are you studying? Are you working? Coaching?
Yeah, I coach a few students, but I tend to balance between my coaching and my professional career.
And you're doing it quite well. We can all see the results are speaking themselves. So what's next for you?
Next, I haven't decided yet, but I plan on playing some foreign tournaments, some trips to Europe in the month of June or July.
And during the tournament, I also got to know that you were watching Poor Things. So would you say that watching that movie helped you relax your mind?
Well, I was watching that movie long time before, like 2-3 days back. Then the pressure hadn't built up yet. So that was a nice movie to freshen up my mind, but it had no impact on my later runs, I would say.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Even I also loved it. Once again, thank you very much, Kaustuv, for your valuable time. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.